I'm going to be honest, I do not know how to start videos like this. I always just kind of like this, for instance, is like the sixth attempt at starting it, and they always just sound weird and off. So I'm just going to start talking and we'll go from there. Basically, the point of this video is going to be for me to share with you what's going on. I can just sit back and make videos and play games and do stuff like that. But at the end of the day, this is a give and take. I rely on you guys to watch the stuff I make, and then you rely on me to make that. So it just makes sense that there's a give and take, kind of a yin and yang, whatever you want to call it. So this is just my attempt to be a little more communicative between both parties. And so I want to talk about E3, what happened with that. Where those live streams are, live streaming in general, some personal stuff that we're going to have coming into play. I want to talk about like P.O. Box stuff, merchandise, plans for the fall, and my schooling, all of this stuff. We're just going to throw it out there. And like I said, I try to keep these uncut, keep them personal, because the point isn't to have high production values or crazy complicated cuts and framings. It's just for me to communicate with you. And as an audience member, you can either take that or leave that. And that's okay if this doesn't interest you. I don't expect it to interest many, so that's okay. But to start it off, E3. So E3 was, it just closed off, and what we did is every year we try to do a live stream where we live stream it, we talk about it together, so I can watch the show with you. We live stream it, we talk on Discord with voice chat, and we hang out. We have a great time. And we wanted to do that again this year for every show. This year, though, is a little bit more complicated because of my work schedule. This is not my only job, so it was not as simple as just covering the show. I would have to ask for that day off of work, and then I'd have to go and live stream that, and then hope that that would cover the like loss in money for paying rent that I lost taking the day off work. Like, it just gets complicated, but we still were able to cover most of the shows. The issue being one of the shows was claimed for copyright issues. I believe it was Bethesda's. No, it was Ubisoft's show. We covered that live. No issues with the live stream. And then it was copyright struck, and YouTube took away live streaming completely from my channel. And naturally, I freaked out because the Sony press conference was later that evening. I didn't find out they had taken away live streaming until the Sony conference came about, because it was only a matter of hours. I was able to get live streaming reinstated to the channel, but only after E3 had wrapped up. So it was a great experience and probably took 2 years off of my life just in stress and sweat. But we got live streaming back. But this is the broader point, is that the fact that it's that versatile, or volatile, not versatile, volatile, to the point where I can't even confidently say a week out from a presser, yeah, I'll be able to cover that. Yeah, we'll live stream it, because YouTube might take away live streaming capabilities because some song, it wasn't even the song that they claimed it was. Their algorithm misread a segment of Bethesda's presser as a copyrighted piece of work and took live streaming away from my entire channel, and was going to throw a like community strike against it. It was going to be a whole big thing. So it's just not, it doesn't instill confidence in me, I suppose would be the way to phrase it. So we're going to move over to Twitch for live streaming. We can still upload the streams to YouTube, and I plan to do that. So Talk Gaming is going to move over to Twitch, and we're going to live stream it there, then upload it afterwards on YouTube, and that should be fine. If anything, it'll diversify the income. We can broaden an audience there and start doing both. But as for why that hasn't happened yet, once again, we get into more technical issues. My internet service provider here in Northern Colorado, it's a company called Xfinity, otherwise known as Comcast, and they have not the best track record. I have one of the more advanced plans. We have it set up for 250 down with upstreams that should, in theory, get upwards of 20, 25 megs up. 32 channel modem for downstream, 8 channels for upstream. We have Nighthawk router. Like, we should have no issues. I have it wired, Ethernet wired directly into the router. There should be no issues at all with connectivity. This is like a dream setup. But every evening, just in the evening, roughly 2-3 times over the course from like 7 p.m. to about midnight, the internet will simply drop out for a period of about, I'd say, 10-15 minutes. It's just gone. You'll have the network still there, but the internet will disappear. You just don't have access to the internet, which for live streaming does not work so well. So we've been trying to deal with that. I've been on the horn with Comcast for an untold number of hours, and it's been very frustrating. We're trying to get it resolved, but as of right now, it seems like they don't know what's wrong. I don't know what's wrong. It just is happening. Now, hopefully it'll fix itself once we move into the new place, which is the segue into the move. So August 1st, I'm going to be moving into a new place. That'll be a little bit more sorted. I'll have more space. I can make the space sort of my own a little bit more so than I can here. And it's going to be good. It's going to let me kind of stretch my wings, and I think we can do something a little bit cooler there. So hopefully all of the networking stuff is fixed once we move over there. That leads me into why we're moving. So we're moving partially because it's closer to the campus where I'll be attending school. And what I'm studying right now is I'm at the business school, and I'm studying corporate finance. I know it's super exciting, but I'm studying corporate finance so that once I complete that bachelor's program, I can then go take the LSAT and eventually go to law school if this hasn't taken off or improved past any significant point. So I'm still working on my education, which you would think would interfere heavily with the YouTube stuff, but it actually is a good yin to the yang, because what it effectively looks like is going to happen is in the fall, I'll be forced to make one of two choices. I can either commit to working full-time and going to school full-time, trying to make as much money as I can, and drag my way through school that way. Or, of course, the downside to that being having to pull way back on YouTube. Or the other side is to commit more to YouTube, make that more of the focus, try to build that business up while I'm going to school for business, and try to get that to be the sustaining source of income, which in theory is possible, but it's not there yet. It just isn't. It might get there. I've done some finagling to get that to occur and be more possible, I suppose, such as severing ties with my multi-channel network that previously was taking 40% of all revenue. Naturally, I severed ties with them, and doing all sorts of licensing deals that hopefully will improve overall ad revenue. But we're also looking at adding merch, so you can get little t-shirts, trinkets, things like that. If you want to support the channel that way, you will be able to do that. I've worked with a couple people who are graphic designers. They're working on some fan art and things like that we can put up on shirts that I think will be fun. I know I'm going to buy them, so at the very least, we'll get some t-shirts out of it. But that's something that is happening and is coming. It's just a matter of logistics. It's tough to arrange. As for other things, P.O. boxes, some of you have been begging for P.O. box stuff so you can send letters, postcards, things like that. I really like the idea, and I have not forgotten about that. We are working on it. Once again, it's more logistical than I expected. Like, there's a lot of things you have to do to make that happen in this town, which is baffling. There's a moth freaking out above me. He likes the bright lights. But anyway, so lots of moving parts. As for what decision I'll make in the fall regarding school and regarding YouTube and work, there's no real way of predicting it. I would, of course, like to commit more to YouTube. This is technically more enjoyable. I feel more fulfilled creatively doing this. But it is not that simple, and there's, once again, a lot of moving parts to it because the revenue is not there. It's not per hours worked. It is not anywhere near as profitable as just working a regular full-time job like the one I currently am working, which pays fairly well. So it's going to require sort of a leap of faith. Yeah, you see the moth? You see it? That's funny. Got him on. He's famous. I'm going to kill him right after this, but he's famous for now. Was that dark? That sounded dark. I'm going to kill him right after this. So yeah, I don't know for sure what's going to happen. I'm open to it though. And we'll just see. A lot of stuff can happen in the span of a month and a half, 2 months. You never know. I am working on some bigger projects that are in the works. They require time. They require effort. And critiques and longer form content is always interesting because it's, as you would expect, it's playing the long game. You're creating an hour-long piece of content and hoping that an audience latches onto it, and they might not latch onto it for another 6 months, which is really tough because you'll work for, he's annoying the crap out of me. You'll work for a good probably 50 to 100 hours on a video. You'll put it out and maybe 5% of your audience, of your subscriber base, will see it within the first couple days. And that's frustrating because it feels like you just wasted all that time. Now, the people who saw it really might have loved it, but it might just not be hooking in, and that's frustrating. 6 months down the road, it might pick traction up, but it's just not quite there. So, yeah, there's just a lot of stuff happening, and I feel like we're kind of teetering on this edge where we could lean forward, we could lean back. It could solidify, everything could be fine, or we might reach the point where we just have to take a leap of faith and hope that this works out, hope that we can make something of it. But I think it's going to take some restructuring. So this is where you come in. If you've made it this far into this blabberwalkie of a monstrosity of a video, what I want to hear from you in the comment section below. First of all, put like hashtag, I don't know, Tim the Moth. Tim the Moth. Hashtag Tim the Moth. That's how I'll know that you made it this far into the video. His name is Tim. What I want you to do, leave hashtag Tim the Moth, and in your comment, describe to me what you would like to see from the channel. Are you just looking for the critiques? Are you looking for the more comedic stuff that we used to do a lot more of? Are you looking for news? Are you looking for news commentary? What do you want from the channel? What do you find that works best? What have you enjoyed most? And what do you want to see more of? Because that will really help me figure out what could work and where I should put my focus. Because if it turns out that the long form critiques are not what you guys actually want to see, I'll save the time and work on stuff that's a little light-hearted and a little bit more fun. That's okay, but I need you to communicate that. I need you to tell me. Otherwise, I won't know. So, leave those comments, hashtag Tim the Moth, and I will read through every single comment that has that hashtag. I promise you. That's my commitment to you. But with all that said, we've been jabbering for quite a while. I don't want to take up any more of your time. I really appreciate every single one of you who sit and listen and care. It baffles me that there's anybody out there who cares. So the fact that you do really does mean the world to me. And hopefully, with some hard work, some sweat, and a little bit of elbow grease, we can continue to grow this thing into something pretty special. And I feel confident that we can do that, but we can do it together. And that's what we're going to have to do. So thank you for watching. I seriously do appreciate it. I love each and every single one of you more than you could possibly know. And I'll see you in the next video.